Justice League No Justice, Issue 1. Done by the great Scott Snyder and Francis Manapul. Stay tuned for the review, guys. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, we're talking about a big one. This is highly anticipated book. This is Justice League No Justice, Issue 1, done by the legendary Scott Snyder. And the artwork is done by Francis Manapul. That's right, fans. Yeah, this book is really highly anticipated to try to get the Justice League back on the map. We got different teams with different characters, obviously. Some are good guys, some are bad guys. And so, this is a way to kick off a Justice League event, right? You know, put together characters and let's do it, right? All right, so first things first is let's talk about the artwork in this title. The artwork is done by Francis Manapul. I like his artwork. I think he draws the characters wonderfully. The coloring is really well done in here. At times it seems like a psychedelic type of coloring, which is nice too. My only issue with this is that there is a lot of dialogue in this book, and so I feel Francis Manapul's artwork doesn't get to shine like it should because there's very small panels. They try to fit in a lot in this issue. There is a lot that goes on into this book. However, the artwork is really nice when you can see it, okay? So let's talk about this story. Now, just letting you guys know, there is spoilers. So if you haven't read your copy yet, please read your copy and then come back and see me, okay? So first things first is we start off with the Green Lantern Corps, okay? And they're at the Source Wall. The Source Wall is busted, and somehow they gotta try to fix this. But little do we know there's this all-impending doom that's coming. We don't know this yet as a reader until you move forward with the actual story. Okay? So what happens is you wind up getting to see all these different characters. Like you get to see the Titans, you get to see the Suicide Squad, you get to see the Teen Titans, and the Justice League, and you wind up seeing Brainiac. And Brainiac you would think, is taking over the city. He's trying to capture the Justice League characters. Superman comes in there and he winds up punching Brainiac out. And the next thing you see is he goes into Superman's brain and he winds up capturing everybody. He captures the Justice League, the Teen Titans. He captures the Titans. He captures everybody. And so little do you know is that they are on Brainiac's ship and they're being held captive. Okay, Harley Quinn tries to find a way out. All the other characters, like Martian Manhunter, he tries to find a way out. No one can get out. They don't know what's actually going on in here. So little do we find out is that Wonder Woman actually has Brainiac's hand wrapped around the lasso of truth. And we find out that he wants to be allies with the Justice League. So after some discussion and some new outfits to separate this, the teams, we get a very lengthy discussion on how it's these four brothers who've come through the Source Wall. There are these Omega Titans, and they're coming to destroy Brainiac's world. And if they don't stop them, okay, what's going on is that these Titans are going to destroy Earth next. So it's kind of like, Brainiac is really in for it himself because he's like, oh, well, you guys got no choice but to help me because if you don't stop them here, they're going to go to your Earth. So it's one of those things. So Brainiac has come together and formed these teams that mathematically in his brain or strategically that these specific teams or these members of these teams can defeat an Omega Titan. And that's why you have the teams that you have in these Justice League books to stop a Titan. And that's why it's That's why it's mixed with heroes and villains. So you get that description as well. So Amanda Waller, of course, is in the whole thing. And we find out that obviously everyone's been captured, so she wants her people back and whatnot. So she gets some of the greatest psychics in DC Universe, obviously, and it gets them together to try to stop Brainiac. And so as the issue progresses, we wind up seeing the psychics, right, or the telekinetics, go into Brainiac's brain as they get to his home world to get ready to stop this Omega Titan. And they overload Brainiac's brain, and his freaking head explodes. And you're like, damn! You're like, that's freaking crazy. And then, so the Justice League and the new teams, they're clueless now on what to do because, you know, Brainiac was the leader of the whole thing, and now they're just like, oh shit. And so, basically, that's the issue in a nutshell, and that's how it happens. So what did I think about this story? I think there was a lot in this book. I mean, it's not hard concept to understand, but to tell the story, it took Snyder a lot to get to this point, right? There was a lot of dialogue, a lot of almost pointless banter that I didn't feel was necessary. While they were on the ship, you get Sinestro and you get Starfile, you know, going at it with each other. You wind up getting different villains, you know, just purposely just arguing with one another just to stall time to get to the end of this particular issue. And besides the extra heavy dialogue, I didn't find a problem with this issue. Maybe a few too many panels here and there. They didn't need to be so tiny. I think Snyder could have cut down the dialogue to, you know, describe what was going on in this story, or even made this book maybe just 2 issues. Maybe have the heroes fight in the beginning against Brainiac, and then possibly, you know, have them get captured, and that's how the first issue ends. But instead, he crams so much in here, and there's so many characters where each character has a struggle of panel time. And that's where I had a little bit of an issue in the book as well. He just tried to fit too much into one issue. But the overall story is good, and the cliffhanger was good. So, at the end of the day, I'm going to give this one a 3.75 out of 5 stars. Very similar in many ways to last week's Avengers issue number 1, when it comes to the Celestials falling from the sky and these big cosmic beings are going to come and destroy the Earth. So very similar in that fashion, but we're going to Brainiac's world here. So, yeah, pretty cool story. I'm definitely going to give this one a continuation and see what the other Justice League books are like. And so 3.75 out of 5 stars from me. So guys, in the comments below, tell me what you thought of Justice League No Justice issue number 1. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you feel it was overwhelming? Did we try to cram too many characters in there? And fans, as always, thank you so much for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. Until that next comic book review, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss a single video from me. So as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next comic book review.